Let's call to order the Cochise County Board of Supervisors work session for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. The order deletion of any item on this agenda is subject to modification at the meeting, and any item listed is open for discussion. Please note that some attachments may be updated after the agenda is published, meaning presentation materials displayed at the board meeting may differ slightly from the attached versions. Members of the Board of Supervisors may attend either in person or via remote conferencing. Members of the public may also attend this meeting via Microsoft Teams or the mobile app. Work sessions are a time for county staff to inform and discuss agenda items with the Board of Supervisors, and public comments will not be taken. We'll begin with a roll call. District 1.
Mr. Chair, Crosby's with you, and you are loud and clear.
Are you there, Mr. Crosby?
Yes, I am.
Is he there? On the phone?
Testing.
Mr. Crosby, please unmute.
Testing.
We lose him?
Is there anybody else on there? Make sure audio is not always on our side.
All right, we'll go with District 2 and District 3. Antonelli's. Is that him?
Hey,
Oh, that's me
No
echoing.
longer
I'm sorry.
muted.
Ooh, it's a heck of a
Mr. Chair,
delay.
this is Crosby.
Oh, we trying to check. You just heard Crosby though, yeah. I didn't.
I am
All right,
unmuted,
so
I think.
we can't get home, so we're going to have to mark him as absent. So if he comes back on, we'll add him in if he comes back on. So, okay, 2 of the 3 supervisors are present and in person. Mr. Crosby is not available because he's online. He's having technical issues, but we'll come back to him. All right. So let's go to Joe. He's filling in for Ms. Gilman this week.
Yeah, so we have a fairly light week compared to the previous 7-8 months for meetings.
Yeah.
So we have the general library district, the flood control district, and the jail district, which those are just the minutes and demands. There's no special items on any of those meetings. And then going into our regular board meeting, I have a handful of things on the consent agenda. I can go through those individually, or if you just want to take a look at consent and see if there's anything we want to discuss on consent, and then we have the public hearings. We could get into those.
Chairman Antonori,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Crosby says he can hear us, but he just can't.
So for the record, do I mark him as present?
Just take a moment to check out the audio.
Yeah, I just don't, if he can't. I mean, but for the minutes, do I count him as, for roll call, do I count him as present? Yeah. Yeah, okay, all right, then we'll put him down as present then. Okay, all right. I didn't know what. If he can't talk, I don't know if it counts as legit or not. Gives Ms. Gomez time to go tank up. Yeah. It worked out. It's good timing.
Yes, 1, 2. No.
Not working? All right, well.
Test.
Can he text you, Laura? Yeah. Okay, all right, well. Does that count? Sure. Okay, all right, well, we'll count him as here then. If he can text, we'll just have the clerk translate or transfer. Okay, here comes the IT cavalry.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. All right, Joe, we'll keep going as they work on that issue.
I have just a question on 7.
Sure.
Self-service.
This is your guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we, for the development, that's right, did he attend yesterday or?
He did
He
not.
has to be appointed first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
That,
contacted him and, okay, cool, very good.
yeah. He's good to go.
Okay, so then he would be at the next,
The next meeting will be his first official.
and that's October, right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on the consent items? Anybody want to hear from on those?
Let me see.
We're going to abandon those 2 blocks after we chip seal them? No? What are they? Alleys? Oh. So
This is for the ones in Dragoon?
yeah.
Yeah, it's an alleyway. It's not chip sealed.
Oh,
It's not maintained. It's
so
not
it's dirt?
maintained. It's dirt.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Okay.
maintained.
Blocks 15 and 22. All right, I guess you'll show
You know
us
where the
picture.
store is?
Yeah, yeah.
It's right behind the store.
Okay.
It's the alleyway because they own 2 properties there. So it's the alley between those 2 properties.
So, but they own both properties?
Correct.
And
And
you're
then-
gonna, I got it. That's cool.
They buy it. We don't give away property.
Oh, they buy it?
They have to buy it. They have to pay property. They have to pay any right of way we abandon, the property owner does have to pay for it, yes.
Okay. All right. And where's 22? Is that the same? So they're like this?
Yes.
Okay. I got it. I got it.
And it's the other property owners that have it that
Okay.
also want it abandoned.
Yeah, that's all I had on that.
Okay, and then under the public hearings, we have Series 12 liquor license and a Series 10 liquor license, along with with Development Services, the zoning ordinance 2519 to amend the zoning ordinance. Christine, you want to go over?
We talked about this a few months ago. And so this is regarding special use authorization appeals, which the Board of Supervisors considers. Right now, you're limited to affirming, modifying, or reversing a special use authorization. This will give you the ability to remand it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission if
Oh, yeah,
new
yeah.
information
Yeah,
is
I remember
presented.
That's right. Yep.
So just
okay.
one more option, and it is limited to one cycle. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I think
It
that-
came up during the subdivision discussion.
So when there was some kind of new information that hadn't been presented.
But does the property owner have to pay for the appeal?
Yes, or anybody aggrieved by the
So,
decision.
so they file an appeal
Mhm.
of the Planning and Zoning Commission. It comes to us, and then we kick it back? Do they get their
If you
money
wish.
back?
No,
No.
no,
That-
because
that's-
ultimately you'll remand it back to the commission, they'll consider the new evidence, and then they'll send it back to
And
you
then
because
they-
you're the appellate.
They won't have to pay a second time. It's
No.
just a one-time fee.
That's correct.
Even we kick it back.
It's one cycle, yeah, so it's one fee.
Okay. Better, it's better
Yeah.
than what it was, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool.
And
I believe audio is good. That was
Oh, Tom there now? Mr. Crosby?
Testing.
Hey, here he is.
Hey, how about
We
that?
got, we got you, man. Good
Thank
deal.
you, Joe. Appreciate it.
And Christine, because we're up here, so we have it in the bylaws, if you miss 3 within the year, then you can be removed, not 3 consecutively, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
It was-
So, James Ranch Road, that's yours, right? That's the port of entry?
And this, I'm sorry, Christine. You know, this is, I don't know if I'm just talking out of, some crazy part of my brain, but I'm still not understanding all the zoning and what we have that exists already.
Mhm.
I don't want the county to sell themselves short, like, can we have, and I think I brought this up, and I don't know if it's on this, like a work session on, just to see where all the land is and I mean, what do I
Where
want to
the,
say?
where the different zones of
So I
zoning are?
think if we should look at how we should use it as an economic development plan down the road, what is agriculture, what's industrial, what's especially, all the different terms, just to make sure we know as people are going to come in and there's going to be, people are going to be buying stuff up, what it looks like. So we don't have, a zone over here that's for commercial and then something over here is residential. I mean,
Mhm.
I just don't get a feel yet for what's going on. And I think things are going to happen real quick. People are going to start speculating. People are going to start buying. So I want to make sure we have a plan on how it looks. So for instance, that the junkyard that the guy has on 80 that's just expanding every day, it seems. I want to make sure we don't have more of that somewhere, where we could be using it for a hospital or, for housing or something like that. So could we do a work session on just what I
Goals
think,
for zoning?
yeah, 191 and
Zoning and land use in the port of entry area.
yeah,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
I'm sure you have a map for that.
Of course.
Okay.
I know, but it's different when you sit down and talk about, okay, what is around James Ranch? What's around, going to the BDI? What do we have to be able to plan out so we have good
Well,
economic.
'cause a lot of it is going to be rezoned. We're going to
Right.
probably approve rezoning from R4, RU4 to commercial or
Or
something in that general area as the port
Right.
grows.
So we need to make sure
Yeah.
we do it, plan it well. Okay.
Sure.
So for that work session, you're looking for the port of entry and the 191 corridor?
Yeah, do you have any other areas you can look at?
No, I mean, that's
That's it?
most of them I'm dealing with, they're inside municipalities already, right? So they have their own zoning. There's not a lot of big industrial zoning in my area that I know of that's outside of Benson or Wilcox. Most of it's inside those two cities.
We don't have a lot of industrial zoning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Senator Kelly was talking about solar plants again, and solar farms. And that's another, I would like to look at, if that does come back, and, we're getting pressure because of AI and all that stuff, you have an idea where to put them in, then we've got the opt-out community. So where are they going as, people may want to build housing, we're lucky, there's going to be more housing built around McNeil, all that area. So if we can just get a good plan going for how we're going to deal with opt-out community. If the solar farms, they want to come back in, where can we put them so they're not by residential? Things like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
And you want that part of that same work session?
Yeah, I think we could kind of tackle it all.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So James Ranch Road then is just being declared as a county
Yeah,
highway.
Yeah, I know. Jackie had mentioned that once we declare a stretch of road that is county and it's going to be chip sealed or paved, has to be designated a county highway.
To spend public funds on a road, it has to be a declared county highway for pavement.
Right.
So that ADOT is going to step in.
It's still a county road.
Still county roads.
It's going to always be a county road until the city annexes it. This is correct.
Pavement.
So we're declaring it a county highway so that we can pave it. Currently, ADOT has already done this study to know that that's the location. We're declaring it a county highway because we're in the process of acquiring right-of-way. Before we can actually buy the right-of-way, we have to have it declared a county highway. ADOT is doing construction plans now. Next Friday, they will have the 60% plans completed. So it's being designed. It will be completed design in March of next year. They'll advertise it for construction, and construction to start probably December or January of 2027, or December of 2026, January 2027. Correct.
We just got to get them to that money and allocate it. definitely. So it's not in, because I keep on hearing it's in the 5-year plan, it's in the 5-year plan, but
We have $28 million for the project, ADOT. No, we need 48 million. 4-lane hot road, for the 4-lane road, that would be 48 million. From the last cost estimate, we will have a new cost estimate next Friday to find out what it is. ADOT has applied for $20 million congressional funds. We won't know, they won't know until next March if they get that money.
yes, on maybe Brazier's property, Larry Brazier's property, and he wants to, big
Yeah.
transfer thing. So that's what Kelly was talking about with the 80 million. This is why I get so confused because there's so many different, even now, different amounts and we're going to put a transfers. They call it transfer where it's a roundabout, I guess.
We're not doing roundabouts anymore. We've eliminated those because of the cost. I'm not sure. The updated plans, so the updated plans will,
Yeah, I got
yes. That was the original. That was the original $48 million that we put in a grant for additional funds, and that included the roundabouts. We're not doing that plan. Now it's just a normal road without roundabouts. And the cost estimate, last cost estimate on that was 48 million.
So where that's
When we were just in a concept plan, we didn't really know what GSA was doing with the port itself. Now we know where their roads are coming out, and so we're matching up with the roads that are going into GSA for the inspections. And we will have 2 lanes going in, 1 lane coming out will be then go into 2 lanes, so there will be 2 lanes southbound, 2 lanes northbound, possibly 2 in the middle. Not that we won't construct those. We would just have those designated for future, when developers do commercial development in the area, they would then be responsible for the cost of constructing those roads. 4 lanes, correct. We're always talking 4 and we're designing before we have enough funds to do 2 lanes. We need the $20 more million to do the 4 lanes as from the last cost estimate. Yes.
talk to you later.
But we do have plans. We'll have the plans next Friday, and I can get you a copy of the plans. Okay.
Nation Constitution Week, September 17th was the day it was signed.
December 17th.
Yeah, to 1787. Then it took 2 years to ratify it. After that, I think. I guess we're just going off of when it was signed. Is that the?
I'm not sure why the date was.
Oh, okay. I don't know who put that on
Yeah.
there.
Let's see, this was Mr. Crosby.
Oh, good. Tom.
Oh,
Actually,
Yes, yes.
this is the Tombstone Daughters of the American Revolution. Asked to have it put it on each year. So this is a recurring
September
during
17th,
Constitution
okay.
Week. And they've requested one of
Oh,
the
great.
supervisors to read the
Yeah.
proclamation if possible.
Oh, that'd just be a wonderful thing.
Good deal. All right. County Sheriff. Oh, Stone Garden, okay. Is that coming from
Sheriff Foster
the
here to talk to that if you have questions.
Arizona Department of Homeland Security? Okay, gotcha. Anything on that? No? Okay. Tom, do you have any question on 15?
Yeah, well, if it's about Stone Garden, does the funding originate with FEMA, and what kind of shape is FEMA in, if anybody knows?
It's DEMA, right? Yeah, DEMA's our
And FEMA
state,
does have a piece of it, but this is a contract that was already approved. I'll give you the Scooby-Doo version. It's for digital investigative equipment. We ended up getting another funding source, so we tried to get a AI predictive equipment, which didn't pass through. End up that we had way more computer phones, digital forensic evidence that we needed to do the investigations on. So we decided that we needed another computer to do this with, and this is the money that it's from. So this is a contract that was already approved, that you guys approved last year for us. The time frame had expired, so we're just asking for an extension so we can purchase the equipment.
and then this equipment is going to be
Excellent.
used to what? Take a phone that you seize to be able to get into that phone? Is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good.
Any digital devices. And what we're finding out is, and it's helping the county attorney with prosecutions. We're all living on our phones and on our tablets and computers these days, and so are the elements that we deal with, and they're providing us evidence of the crime
Yeah,
through
but you
that.
got a warrant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you got a warrant.
Yeah, you just don't. I just can't grab your phone and plug it in. I got to get
Yeah,
consent from
yeah.
you or a warrant.
Yeah, you have to get a specific. Okay. All right, that's cool. Board administration.
Shipley's here to, you're to read on that one? Good. Yeah, so Ms. Shipley's here to answer any questions on that.
Who's the advocate for? Is it just, it's for victims or?
So the court-appointed special advocates, so the judges will appoint a volunteer. So the program recruits, trains, and supports volunteers who are appointed by the judges, and they watch over the kids and advocate for abused and neglected kids that are in the court system. So that volunteer will stay with each case until it's closed and they find them a permanent home. So it's a volunteer.
These are kids that are like orphans or
Yeah, foster care.
emancipated or something that
Yes,
they don't
yeah,
have parents.
correct.
Gotcha. All right, cool. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right, this next one is an IGA with the city of Yuma and DPS to tie into the statewide system. You have any
Oh, is
questions?
this for our?
This is for the radio system.
Oh, okay.
So the sheriff received a grant for the equipment itself, and that's been going through the process of getting it connected. But then you have to get the paperwork in line as well to make sure we're on the same page of what this is going to look like. And this IGA helps us with that process. And we have
So this
Mr.
can be,
Fuller here.
it's like a statewide mutual aid system that everybody can tap into?
So this is just a connected radio system that's going to allow us to connect with DPS, Yuma County, and be able to communicate with each other. And then there's also the possible for future expansion as well.
But I mean, it's a statewide network radio?
That's
Correct.
the end goal.
Yeah.
That all the counties be able to talk to the state or other counties or whatever, right? On
Exactly.
this network, this statewide network.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be like for emergencies and stuff like that.
Yeah, for mutual aid.
Yeah.
You need help from a neighboring county, you could get on the radio and talk to the sheriff next door, or you can get DPS on the radio if you need DPS, or vice
Right.
versa.
Yeah, or if someone's traveling and they're in a different county and they need, they're coming back here, or they need to be able to, hear what's going on or
So
respond
you
or
don't have
something.
your towers. You use everybody's towers will have that same network, their towers.
Connections to them, yeah.
Yeah.
So because
Are they software-defined radios?
What's up?
The new ones are.
Okay.
Uh,
So the
Military's
county
been using
supervisor
them.
got lost, you'd be able to say, hey, we think they're lost in your county. Something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
So the radios will have their own IP address, basically, and then they'll be able to tap in the towers like a cell phone almost.
Okay.
And they can network with other radios. And then they also can talk to each other to do a Neuralink, right? Can they do that?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, the mesh network or.
Yeah.
It's,
Those are, so where you don't have repeaters, you don't hear it on your radio, but they go through your radio to talk to this guy and vice versa. And it's a way to expand the radio network without having to put millions of repeater antennas up. This my military,
Background?
the Army's got those. Right, so you can bounce off other radios, so you don't have to put towers up. There's guys all over the mountain, and you can bounce to that guy who bounces to that guy who gets to the other guy on the other side of the mountain who you can't get to directly line of sight. That's all. It's a good system for public safety. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's it on the general, the state and federal legislation.
I mean, I talked to Kelly, Senator Kelly at the Douglas thing regarding Fort Huachuca and the stuff that was brought up. And we gotta sit down with Visconti on that as well. So there's Joe Corrigan, who's the sort of liaison / lobbyist for the Huachuca 50.
Yeah.
Brought to our attention that there's something in the House Armed Services Committee that's a markup to the defense bill that is going to fund studies within the San Pedro River Basin that may or may not be a problem.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah.
Right. So, I chatted with him about that. He's aware of it too. He was also instrumental in stopping, Kelly wasn't I give credit where credit's due. I thank the guy for helping stop pulling the electronic proving grounds off of Fort Huachuca and moving it to Aberdeen, Maryland. Right. So he was part of the effort to keep that from happening. So that was good. That is, again, Joe and I went out and talked to those guys. That is an asset out here that we have to begin to exploit and work with the Fort on whatever we can do for the commercial aspect of it. If ATEC can open up the aperture a little bit. ATEC is the Army Testing and Evaluation Command. If they can open that up so that private entities that make certain things could pay to use that range and test their stuff on that range, it'll be, a benefit eventually to the Army as those guys develop those technologies, then they will eventually maybe sell them to the military if they get to the point. And two, it's economic.
Yeah.
The growth for Sierra Vista and the Huachuca City area. So, but they've been going in the opposite direction. They're trying to push stuff off EPG, which then will lead to the potential of moving or closing the whole fort down.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to protect that mission out there and expand it to justify the existence of but we got to not create an issue by funding things that will be used to beat the fort over the head with, as for lack of a better term. That's the concern on that. But we got to set that meeting up with Congressman Siscomani, and because it didn't go through him. It was something I don't know the mechanism, but it may have gone through a staff architecture through the Army and then found its way into the language in the HASC.
Yeah.
Siscomani doesn't sit on the HASC, on the House Armed Services Committee. So they found a sponsor on the Armed Services Committee to put that language in the bill. So, and I guess they've reached out to that.
He must have had a liaison in the Army.
Somebody.
Right?
Yeah, somebody. I mean, Corrigan's going to go, I guess, get all the specific language and find out exactly what and who.
When I served, for Pat Schroeder, 5 years on the Armed Services Committee, it's always brought by the Army and then somebody sponsors it.
That's what I think he thinks, right? He thinks that there's somebody from
the side there.
Yeah, the garrison staff or somebody that asked.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been good to touch base with us before that happened and to touch base with Siscomani. So I don't know how that language got in there without talking to the local congressman or talking to us. Yeah. So, but I guess we're gonna get.
So is that coming up for the next year?
We're gonna try to amend it. Amend it. Yeah. So I don't know what's.
That might be something. If we go to DC, we should meet with the Armed Services Committee. Do we know what committee? I mean, what subcommittee it went under? Was it?
No, I'm not familiar.
I don't know which subcommittee. I know Congressman Siscomani had mentioned bringing us up there at one time to voice our concerns.
Yeah.
And again, I have always said with the Fort, because we can't force the Fort to do anything. It's a
Right.
federal entity, but the Fort my wish would be that they would assert especially with the electronic proving ground, that they would assert themselves as a critical national security asset that has protections from some of those things. And I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but that would be ideal, because that would stave off some of the issues and the lawsuits that they keep getting hit with. And I think that's their concern. Their concern is they're trying to mitigate these lawsuits by showing, but in the process, they may be causing more problems than they're curing. So, I mean, we got to have a unified strategy on that. The Fort, us, and Congressman Siscomani's office.
Do you know who introduced it?
No, that's the thing. Nobody knows where it came
Oh
from.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That's really strange. Usually you have an idea to be able to
It
do
was
it when it comes.
Congressman Siscomani's office, I could tell you that. And Senator Kelly didn't know anything about it either, but he's in the Senate, so he
Yeah.
wouldn't know. But anyways, but is what it is. That is something we're working on now.
Okay.
So, but that's the only thing I can think of that's a potential federal concern for us that we need to keep an eye on. Okay. And do you know anything? There's stuff that you're working on the port. but-
Right. On the port, there's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I want to, be able to do this. I guess you have it on here, this work session, so that we can start pinpointing things and, developing a plan, because we really should have an economic development plan for the county, which we don't. So I think as we get into these work sessions, which we'll be able to figure out what we need to do and then what we need to do for next year, what we need to ask for. So, I mean, I really don't understand. I'd really like to get a sense of what's happening with the drone program and, if there's any possibility of having some of the stuff made here in Arizona as they're expanding, but I don't know who to talk to. I guess sheriff would be a good point of contact.
For economic development for drones?
They're talking about doing the whole drones on the border, and some of the companies that I've been talking to have said that it wouldn't be something that would be out of the range for some of these companies. Like John Deere, I guess, has some involvement with some of the components of a drone system.
Really?
Yeah, from what I gather, he's saying there's a lot of parts that are made, right, to make the drone, and you could do light manufacturing where you could actually bring the youth in, they would learn robotics, they would learn all the stuff that they need to do to create the drones. And so that could be kind of a cottage industry for us.
Mm.
So that would be something, we need to see what we can do as far as the defense system, Armed Services Committee, or the military is doing for, which again, maybe we could spread out that one a little bit, Can they do light manufacturing? Can we make some of these components? And especially with Sonora is really connected with the Arizona Commerce Authority. They're doing all the semiconductor and all.
Yeah, the problem with that is ITAR. So the International Traffic in Arms and Regulation law, there's all these special licenses if you have foreign entities involved with military development. So you got to be
Careful.
very careful. So, and I've gotten licenses with Mexico before, but they've been very narrow and very limited. And they're related mainly to the military of that country and their what would be their Department of State, their ambassador and whatnot. Generally, commercial licenses are very difficult to get with certain foreign countries, especially if they're not a NATO country. Mexico is not a NATO country.
So supposedly, I didn't get to go to a big reception they had with the semiconductor businesses in Sonora and with Phoenix, but it's huge what they're doing already. And so
yeah, that probably will go through the Commerce Department. So ITAR goes through the State Department. The Commerce Department handles a lot of the commercial, especially like semiconductor stuff, that and dual use, stuff that could be commercial or military use. So they'll get the license. We still need license.
And, of course, Douglas area, I mean, they're willing to do whatever they need to do to get something. So that might be something in the economic plan that we can start at least having a conversation and see where it leads us.
I'll start some conversations on that and see where we can tie that into the economic development plan as
that'd
well.
be great.
Well, they're talking about was it 200 acres on that back corner by Huachuca City that they want to designate as a commercial spaceport, you know, and then,
Orbital.
yeah, they want to put in a corridor as well. They want to, so there's the sun corridor, right, is
Yeah.
between Tucson and Phoenix,
Right.
but they want to expand it out coming this way. And if we can anchor the end of it with the fort and then have everything between the fort all the way up to Luke Air Force Base as part of this defense corridor, then that would be nice. But right now it ends in Tucson.
Okay. It
So,
would be nice.
It would be
make
nice.
sense.
yeah, to bring it to
down
the fort. So you're anchoring it with two major military installations,
Right.
right? And then you have Goldwater Range on this side, right? And Yuma. So that's kind of the goal, is to have this section of the state leverage the three big military installations.
And then the other thing too is the whole thing with a lot of the flights that are going over the Chiricahuas, right? And there's that big movement, right? So it would be for me, and maybe you can help me, just to figure out what's happening with that part, because I'm getting a lot.
You should talk about the training flights. For
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Fly right over my house.
right in Portal. So I'd like to figure out like really how often that is and how much they're doing. Is it going to be expanded? So,
All right.
okay.
And then special events, Sharon's report. Will she be back Tuesday?
No, she
You,
will.
you got the ball Tuesday. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
And then September 16th, we have two work sessions scheduled. The first one is the Sanchez versus Maricopa County and how that impacts the row officers.
Oh, yeah,
Discussion on that.
Yeah.
When is that?
That's relative to
Correct. September
a couple other
16th.
cases.
at 1 o'clock.
A14 we have.
Because ultimately, we talked about it. This is the one that was involved the sheriff's deputy who was in an accident, and then
Oh, the one, yes.
the sheriff was basically, I guess, leading the lawsuit, something, and then the Supreme Court said no. Board of Supervisors, the sheriff is who gets sued, but the Board of Supervisors who's responsible for paying the deal. So they have to sue the sheriff, serve the sheriff, sue the sheriff, and then the Board of Supervisors, right? So
That's
this
the
comes
bill.
into the question regarding, is there authority by the Board of Supervisors to intervene to force a settlement or to fight the lawsuit, to appeal the lawsuit? Whose decision is that? Is it the sheriff's decision or is it the board's decision? That's what we're going to discuss.
That's
It's the board's decision. Look at 11-251, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Tom, I think we're on same
I
sheet.
said-
I'm just saying that was the outcome of that, and our county attorney is going to explain that to us in detail.
Okay.
We'll,
So
Well,
if you have reviewed 11-251 recently, it says that the Board of Supervisors, that's just like what we did with LaChance.
right, and that's what the court said, basically. But there's some sticky stuff in between there that we have to talk about.
Now, September 26th, I'm sorry, am I jumping ahead?
No, go ahead.
Session. On September 26th, we have the DCI. Is that what it is? Next steps? What is DCI? Or am I get it. DOJ, which is,
Department of.
That's the next one.
okay, because September 26th is the fair. That has assigned to be out
Was
there.
that 26th or is that 16th? That's 16th. So that's the next one we're going to talk about right now. The 16th. 16th.
Uh-oh, time to get that
I need glasses.
prescription
I
updated.
Yeah, so actually at 1:30 on the 16th is
So
the scheduled work session.
current subject there, Mr. Chair. Are
Sure.
we talking about future meetings and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Have
that's
we
what we're
moved on to
getting to.
agenda item number 2?
Right, that's what we're getting to, is we're going to have that special work session, possible executive session to discuss the voting machine and certification stuff that you had asked
Okay.
for.
Right.
That's-
In addition to that, I wonder if Ms. Lowenheim has my work session request about contacting Gila County and if to
That'll
then
be discussed in this, Mr. Crosby, and then that will be done right after this meeting here. That's the Because there's other things that we're going to discuss, possibly we need legal advice on regarding this as well. So we'll talk about it in
that work session.
that work session.
16th.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'd be a work session
That's fine.
for a work session.
I didn't know if this proposed joint, whatever it might be with Gila County having to do with voting equipment was on my colleague's radar or not. So that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to ask that.
It is. It is.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
So on the 16th, so the agenda item is written where both those items can be discussed because it has to do with the voting
Okay.
systems accreditation. And one is the Department of Justice letter and the other one is the Gila
Okay.
Rights of Collaboration.
Right. And it also
Yeah,
mentioned.
I have a little bit of further comment, and every once in a while we hear from one of our beloved constituents from Portal who makes the comment that we've gone through, I don't know, 6 election directors or whatever she quotes as the number of elections directors. And it is my understanding that that is an issue nationwide, so that everybody who comes on board into the elections department is potentially getting trained by somebody that just got there too. So the probability of everybody complying with all the regulations is just about 0. That concludes my comments.
No, I got you. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
So
Like,
So with that-
30th off, September 30th, it's right after my birthday, I can have to come back.
Which one's?
The September 30th, we've got Steve's got, the flood control district and engineering is on September 30th, right?
So we could shift that one.
Just one day or 2 days?
We'll take a look at the calendar and see where we could
I
shift it to.
appreciate that. I could take my birthday off since it's a big number. Close to it, that way.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the 18th, I guess you and I will be in Phoenix
Yes.
for the CSA on the 18th. I'm going up that morning. I guess you're going up the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be up. I'll leave early and go up there and drive. I'll meet you there. And that's all I've got.
There's
And then it's in October and then we go away. So the open meeting law, we have that October 2nd, right? Okay.
correct at 11 o'clock.
And that's to prepare for the county supervisor,
That's
the CSA.
yes,
Yeah,
and-
right.
and
Okay.
yeah,
And then
to discuss what it is that you want from that open meeting law legislation changes.
Okay.
And then
I have
there
a
is,
comment about the open meeting law, if I may, and
Sure.
that was that when at the last video that I forced everybody to watch 10 minutes of, I also passed out a piece of paper with multiple open meeting law allegations against me, including that meeting that meeting excerpt that I had everybody watch. So that's what I said when I made the comment. This is going to save time later, that you don't have to watch it again when we get into these open meeting laws discussions. But you having memo that came from the Attorney General's open meeting law people saying that I've got this, that, and the other allegation against me, I would appreciate it if you would look at that once again and perhaps review the videos that are available or reviews that are available, and then when it comes time to talk about that kind of stuff, what I would like to point out is what you've seen, that the open meeting laws are weaponized against certain people and used selectively and ignored selectively depending on somebody's political persuasion, in my opinion. That concludes my comments.
Well, I actually asked Supervisor Antonori if we could even maybe show that clip when we talk to the supervisors, when we have the meeting in October, as an example.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, how many examples do you want?
Well, I
mean,
got my own
okay.
examples. I don't have my own
So,
examples.
and I have gotten since we submitted that to CSA, several other supervisors in other counties have reached out to me about that and the dedicated board attorney as well.
Good.
That they are all, I don't know if you see, Pinal County's now having that same problem. Pima County had that problem.
Maricopa, right?
So Maricopa had that problem. So there's a significant conflict of interest. No offense, our wonderful county attorney. When the county attorney is representing not
The
just
county
the
attorney.
board, but the sheriff, the recorder, they're having, right now, the board of supervisors in Pinal County is having a big discussion with their county attorney where they're banging heads, right? So there's an accusation of conflict of interest. They're saying that they're being railroaded because the county attorney gets to pick outside counsel and they pick certain outside, that fight that we kind of had when we first came on board here, right? Where you're saying, hey, who gets to pick who? So that is garnering support. So that legislation is starting to pick up steam within CSA. Now we just got to get members of the legislature to get on board with that. So there's a lot of positive coming out of other supervisors that agree that this needs to have a legislative remedy.
I'm excited
So
to deal with it.
that and the open meeting law is getting a lot of attention too, because like Mr. Crosby said, it is being abused. And it is being used as a way to chill free speech by threatening people like you saw in the video, or, where they threaten open meeting law, and they try to use it as a way to stop discussion or debate. So again, it will be something that's going to be addressed, and there's a lot of other counties that are concerned about it as well. So we're not alone. It is an issue statewide. So hopefully that'll get fixed. We'll see.
Perfect.
And then Phil's
Well,
doing the
similar-
tree thing.
A similar example has to do with, I think it was 2022, the example of the Bisbee Effluent Project, which I was voting against. I think that's probably on that same memo. And so if my colleagues would care to review that meeting and those minutes, it was the same thing where I was being told, oh, the Bisbee Effluent Project has nothing to do with the Sprinka, and I'm thinking, I beg your pardon, I know it does, okay?
Yeah.
So anything that isn't the prevailing viewpoint of the chair and anyway, and look at that memo and look at the videos or look at the minutes, you'll have more and more examples. Thank you.
Okay.
Chairman Hansenori.
Yes. Sure. Yeah, while we're on the subject, so when you guys explain the process for, I saw that they selected a District 6 appointee for the Superior Court, and it's going to the Supreme Court for review. The Supreme Court reviews what, qualifications?
Yeah.
And then it comes back to us. When will that be? Yeah.
I've looked into that process, and I'll get back with you.
Yeah, and then what? Do we have an executive session to interview the candidate or talk to the candidate, or do we just vote?
No,
That's a rubber stamp. I don't think it should be a rubber stamp, but it's a rubber stamp. At least it was last time.
I don't think so. I don't think it's a rubber stamp.
I'll dive into that and find out.
Mr. Chair, I would further comment that I haven't looked lately, but I think that the Constitution says judges have to be elected. And so if they can get appointed to begin with, but if we're going to have a Division 6, I think we might be out of our legal lane by not having an election for a District 6 all the time. And I'd be happy to hear from our attorney on that.
We need to set something up to get us up to speed on it, because I am not at all familiar with this process, and I want to make sure that we look at all the legal aspects, what our authorities are, what purview we have, because the way I read it is it does come to the board for final approval,
we'll do a work session on the District 6, the overall process and where that's at then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that gives, at least before we get to the point where it actually has to happen, when it comes back. So just get us.
Mr. Chair, if I may, again, Mr. Chair, if I can try to correct myself, I think the reason why I had the impression that it's a rubber stamp is probably because of a multiple pro tem judge program that we had at some point in time. Where there were several pro tem judges, and that was why I had the impression that it was a rubber stamp. And if it isn't, that's great. But
I don't think it is.
okay, well, I hope it isn't.
All right.
We'll find out.
Just to let you know, on when we come back to the economic development thing for the port, that is October 19th. Well, I want to meet with the Yuma. This is interesting. Yuma and San Luis, they're separate, but the Port Authority Board is made up of city, county.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
state.
I read that in the paper you were talking about.
Yeah.
Setting up a port authority.
Because the one that is right now, when my father established it in 2008, it went defunct. So what you do is you have one organization, 88% of what goes through that port has to go through him.
Right.
So then it's like how much.
So you want to rebuild the port, reestablish a port authority.
Reestablish Port Authority Board. That would, and I think if we have the state, the county, and the city, plus the stakeholders, and that's how they have theirs set up.
In Yuma?
In Yuma. So then you can get rid of the eliminate as much as you can of corruption. And instead of giving the power to just one source that says, okay, you can bring your goods through, this is going to be overseen by everybody. So it's going to be less of the ability.
Does it include the other side of the border too?
Well, that would just, that I'm going to find out from them. I think it does. They have Yuma then on the other side. They were
Brett
far
at
away.
least or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Mr.
then
Chair,
I'm going to be, go ahead.
Mr.
No,
Chair,
no.
I have a comment and a question about the Port Authority. When we say authority, what are we talking about, Ms. Gomez, if you could share?
Well, Port Authority Board is not usually the way it was set up in Douglas. It's very simple. It's not for profit, and they have the authority of what comes through the port. So they could say, no, you can't bring in cattle, or no, you can't bring in this, but it's been defunct. So I'm not even sure how they used it or when they last used it. So I think it's been defunct for about the past 10 years at least. So with more of, I think more with the state, county, and city, plus the stakeholders on both sides, you have more of an open table where everyone's invited to the table and can participate instead of the way it's set up in Douglas right now.
Okay, I would like to say that my observation is when you see an organization and it has the word authority in it, like the Industrial Development Authority, it's one of two things. It's either the authority to tax or the authority to create bonds, municipal bonds. So before we get on board with anything that is called an authority, we need to know what all the authority is before we back it.
Well, I can send
That
you the
concludes my comment.
bylaws of what was existed, and then when I go out to Yuma, I'm going to meet with them to see what it is. And it doesn't, I'm not sure if it sets forth, the tariffs or anything or taxes, because each one is very different. But I will definitely look at that, and I'll send you what the Douglas had as of, the past, what they have now, the bylaws. It's about 2 pages. And when I read it, I don't remember seeing anything about taxes or, what was the other thing? Bonds at all.
Bonds.
It was about
Okay.
what was being allowed in
So,
port.
I mean, the Nogales Port
Okay.
Authority they have a port authority in Nogales and Santa Cruz.
You.
Yeah, so it's basically, so here it is, like, they have a U.S. Customs guy on the board. They have a Secretary and Treasurer. They have a guy representing the county who is actually a county supervisor. So I guess we know who that might be. We have a a guy representing the Fresh Produce Association. We have a guy representing the city of Nogales, who I think is the mayor. Yeah, it's the mayor.
Yeah,
The mayor is sitting on that. And then we have a guy, the Greater Nogales Community Development Corporation, which is like the business community, right? We have a guy representing the mining industry. We have a guy representing the Santa Cruz Chamber of Commerce, or a gal, I'm sorry. We have another guy representing the Constellation Brands, whatever. So it sounds like just a big stakeholders group that provides policy and guidance for the port of entry. That's it.
And right now,
Okay,
it's just-
that sounds all well and good. If I may continue my comments and my observation with the Industrial Development Authority, which I was on for a while, and so that this was a board that was appointed. You had members appointed by the city council, but the city council could not unappoint anybody, and they could not audit this entity which they supposedly had authority over. So just be careful. That's my don't assume everything's hunky dory just because everybody who wants it says it might not.
Well, that's why I want to meet with them. Because what I want to make sure, Supervisor Crosby, is that this is set up right for the years to come. Because, you know, as a lot of people said, even the person we talked to about a strategic plan, Douglas is not known for its open trade. It's pretty much controlled by one group. And when I say one group, it might be one family, one organization, you know, one business. And that's what I want to make sure we avoid, because you don't have the people like Velcro. We have manufacturing companies in Alpeta, or Levalor, or Grupo Mexico, which is going to be the equivalent of Freeport-McMoRan. So those are the people that need to be on the table so that, you know, everyone knows what kind of trade is coming through and it's open and not, you know, controlled by one family or somebody who's been doing it for the past 30 years.
So the federal guidelines or discussion regarding ports of entry says their purpose is to improve the key ports of entry in all aspects so that they function as efficiently and effectively as possible, and recognize the port to entry are key to the region's economy, act as a strong advocate and champion for nurturing, growing, and promoting economic development and cross-border trade. That's their purpose.
Yes. So I want
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, but can be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
You got a lot of, you know, established roots doing it a certain way. So that's why we've got to make sure we do it good. We do it well, you know.
You can't just assume. You know, I know that you get the idea that you gotta check it out. So you can't have some entity that supervises itself and appoints the successors of the people that left, or you're going to have something like another board that you sometimes criticize, Ms. Gomez.
Well, it sounds like it would have respective local government representation, right? So it would have the mayor of Douglas, the supervisor from Cochise County, customs guys,
you know, you would have probably, you know, all kind of law enforcement.
I would assume that we would vote to appoint.
Okay. Well, whoever, I bless Ms. Gomez. Okay. So, that would be a wonderful thing. So
it's just, I get what you're
this
saying.
is what I want to point out. She's not elected to it. So you get these people there, they're elected officials, but they're not elected to that. And so as soon as you get some source of money by bonds or by taxes, and you have people that are elected officials, but they're not elected to that, you are eroding a Republican form of government, which is Republican.
I'm pretty sure they don't. I mean, Douglas has an IDA, so they would be doing the bonds, even though they haven't done anything in a long time. But no, this is just, from what I've read, and I'll get more knowledge about it as I meet with Nogales and Yuma. And you guys are welcome. I would love to have you involved in it because, you know, I think it's just going to be huge for the county. And so having your involvement and your knowledge would be really pertinent to making it successful. Is just to, you know, to make sure that, from what I understand, it's more about the goods and trade, not about raising taxes and not about doing bonds.
So
Okay, I understand. I understand.
But I'll make sure
And
and be on the lookout. And that you, and anything I get, I'll definitely share with you.
So do we want to
Thank
schedule
you
a
so
work
much.
session on this or wait later on until you get further
She
down the
wants to go
path?
talk to Yuma.
Yeah, but let's
Again-
talk, when I think of the strategic plan is something also too about talking to the woman who wanted to do a roadmap or strategic plan for the development, which is kind of like a starting point of how to get all the stakeholders involved, how to organize ourselves and do the economic corridor using the BDI and possible rail. And so just like a plan, like a map.
So it says here that they receive both federal and state funding for operations
Yeah.
too. So they get federal and state, I guess,
That's human.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the money comes from that, not from,
Right.
it's still tax dollars, but it's federal and state tax dollars that do the ports.
So I would assume that when you have that, then you would have a lot of oversight by a lot of different people to make sure.
Well,
it's being done correctly.
they improve the facilities, they improve the processes, they inspect, they spend money to do that. They build better warehouses or build lanes or whatever they have to do to facilitate improving the efficiency of the port. So they do have the authority to spend money.
And, not really realizing, we haven't really, I don't know if you have, I haven't had a real, discussion with anyone of what this port actually does. I mean, there's 32 dockets that are going to be air conditioned so the produce doesn't sit and rot like it does in Nogales. And so that's what they're saying. We'll probably get a lot of produce that comes from Nogales, would go through Nogales because it's bottlenecked and they do not have.
And they don't have any room to expand down there.
Yeah, they don't have air conditioned dockets.
Right.
So when I used to go there to get food for the farmer's market, it was just, they sat so long that they just gave us food because it was rotting. So that will be something that they come to Douglas. They won't have that issue. So there's a lot that can happen in opportunities and a lot of, they really feel a lot of people are going to come through Douglas instead of going through Nogales. So.
Are there any other work sessions that we need to add to the list for upcoming meetings?
Not that I could think of.
You've got to look like this Bisbee and Fluent, so that's going to be some point in time, but at least we have it.
Yep.
I can't think of anything else. This is off for the end of the year. Things got a lot. Or it's going to be a lot. Economic development's going to be a lot.
A lot of moving parts.
Parts.
All right.
And
Okay, just real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Great. Sorry.
I just have a statement to make, and
Sure.
the county attorney's office, is concerned about the rule of law.
Sure.
There's been a political assassination in the country. Today's 9/11. And political violence affects all of us across the board, regardless of our political ideology or affiliation. And 9/11, I think, reminds us that we're strongest when we are united as a country. So I wanted to say those comments and then just invite the few of us that are here to just have a moment of silence to respect Mr. Charlie Kirk and this day.
All right. I would agree with that. So let's do that. Let's do a moment of silence on behalf, thank you, Mr. Cray, for that, on behalf of both Mr. Kirk and, of course, today is 9/11 and what occurred in this country as a result of that. So let's all have just a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you. Very good. All right, anything else? Good. Thanks. Nice, Paul.
Thanks.
All right, so with that, our next meeting will be Tuesday, September 16th at 10 a.m. So before I adjourn, any last minute? None?
I just am amazed how many people
Crosby
listen to
would-
it.
Crosby would like to thank staff, Mr. Correa, and my colleagues for their participation for this informative meeting.
All right, thanks, Tom. What was it, Kathy?
No, I'm surprised how many people listen to us. What was it? Kelly's guy said, "Oh yeah, I was listening to you all and heard, my comment about having the international incident with trying to cross into Mexico."
Yeah.
They said, "Do you listen?" He goes, "Yeah, we listen a lot."
Oh, good.
So that's good to know.
All right. So with that, I guess we'll see you guys Tuesday morning. We're adjourned.